You're lucky. Right in the
Oof.
So Sasha wants to know, is it on 70, is it east and west construction?
I think it's just coming into Effingham.
Is it?
Come from the east.
Have to get to Montrose quickly.
Yeah. That's where it starts.
And since Chad's here, I'll call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, this is the 2022-23 budget hearing. Roll call. Robin? Yes. Brad?
Yes.
Jane? Yes. Chad?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Okay, this hearing is to allow public comment upon the proposed FY23 budget. The tentative budget approved in August has been posted for 30 days. Would anyone like to make a public comment? Okay, seeing none. Then I will entertain a motion and a second to adjourn the budget hearing.
Motion?
Motion by Brad,
Second.
second by Steve. Roll call.
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin.
Yes. I'm now calling the September 26th, 2022 regular board meeting to order. Roll call.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
All right. Do we have any visitors that would like to address the board this evening? Okay, seeing none. Financial report will be next.
Financial report, I'll just follow suit with what has been done historically. Mr. Fox has spent lots of time on the phone with me, walking me through it, because it is not something that I've generally done in the past. We take a look at, first and foremost, the fund balances. The net fund balance right now is $19,758,052.78. Operating funds net total is $17,959,805.56. Our revenues in the education fund from the local, state, and federal in that order, our local level was $204,205.97. State is $581,248, and federal was $389,158.02. Expenses over 5,000. We've just always attached that document, and so the board has that. Recommendations, I would recommend at this time that we reimburse the interest account in the amount of $2,825.73. And payment of bills that need to be approved tonight is $2,296,237.24. I don't know if anybody has any questions, I guess, before we.
Any questions on the financial report?
No.
Okay, seeing none, then I will entertain a motion, as Andy indicated, for reimbursing the interest account, $2,825.73, and paying bills, $2,296,237.24.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Chad. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Brad. Roll call.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. We have several minutes enclosed from regular meetings and a couple of transportation and facility committee meetings. Cafeteria report is enclosed. We have 3 practicum teachers that are proposed. fundraisers. We had quite a lengthy list of fundraisers, so I thought I would list it because I know sometimes people have interest in who's selling what and what it's for. First, we have the band, and several of these groups have submitted them for throughout the year, or at least through the first of the year. EHS band selling soap, detergent, jam, jelly, and candles to raise funds for band students to go on band trips. That's from September 1 to 14. Again, the band selling butter braids and Macklin's popcorn, November 21 to December 5. Again, the band selling Monocle's frozen pizza and French dressing from January 9th to the 20th. The choir at EHS is selling socks and coffee and cocoa to raise funds for choir programs for the year activities, October 5th through the 21st. EJHS Library is having a scholastic book fair to raise funds to be used to purchase books for the library and book clubs, October 28th to November 2nd. The EJHS boys baseball and basketball groups will be selling raffle tickets for a meat bundle from Nuxalls, and no date, so I'm assuming fairly soon. Central Grade School Student Council will be I knew I'd mess this up, selling smensels to raise funds for Student Council for the school year, November 1st to January 9th. Central Grade School Library will be selling used and donated books and posters to give students access to low-priced books and make room for updated titles, October 25th to 28th. And Southside Grade School will host the American Heart Association to promote, I think it's jump rope, to promote community service by allowing students to participate in a fundraising activity that benefits others, January 23rd to February 17th. So lots of fundraisers coming up to help support some of the activities and groups in the district. Field trips, we had none. Establishment of convenience and activity accounts. Again, we have a listing of the ones in each of the buildings. I don't know if you want to say anything. There's a couple of new ones, but mostly it's the same ones that we've had almost every year.
Dean's Day, I think, was a couple of them, in a couple buildings that, we do that for a fundraiser. I'm not sure what we do with the money, but that money, once I think it's given to different, obviously somebody in the community might have cancer or something of that nature. Try to help those people out. So it's a neat cause.
Okay, and last, we have a declaration of surplus. We have 3 mixers that have been in the warehouse for over 10 years, and we would like to declare them as surplus. The district will sell each of these through a sealed bid process. And again, 3 mixers. Any questions or comments about any of the items in the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda items as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Dasha. Roll call.
Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin.
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes.
All right, next we have correspondence. We have several notes this evening. The first is from Sherry Martin and the South Side team. Thank you so much for gifting us with the Effingham shirts. It was a very thoughtful gesture and very much appreciated. Next, we have a card from the family of Nina Warner. Thank you for the years of support of our mother. Thank you for your support during the difficult time of her loss. She talked about the love of her teaching career and all the way until the end. Thanks again. Mike, Megan, Chris, Lisa, Kenny, and her grandkids. In loving memory, Nina Warner. Next, we have an email that was sent to Mr. Johnson. Not sure if you remember me, but wanted to reach out regarding the football team meal last night. Teutopolis State Bank was the sponsor for the team meal. Our staff that assisted with this meal came away thoroughly impressed with the kindness, respect, and gratitude showed by the players and coaches. I had the privilege of talking with the head coach for a little while last night, and it is obvious that he demands and receives exceptional behavior from his team. Our staff simply wanted to share our experience from last night and compliment the team. Kudos to you, your coaches, and the EHS students. Sincerely, Jerry Rundy and the Teutopolis State Bank Effingham branch staff. And the last is another email that was sent to Mr. Waltman. Our crew officiated your varsity football game this past Friday against Matchin High School. We were very pleased with the amount of sportsmanship that was shown by both teams, players, and coaches. Both schools represented their schools with class. Your program is always a class act. And then they asked for a film. So, and then by the officiating team at the football game. All right.
I would, at this point, and I'm not gonna write my note, if that's okay.
Okay.
Correspondence, figure I'm gonna be here. I've had the opportunity to be on several bus trips, driving, and I am amazed and appreciative to our coaches and our students and our kids for how they act on the bus. They thank me when they got on the bus. They thank me when they got off the bus. I mean, it just says a lot about what we're doing from a systematic standpoint, and that's ecstatic. So you see some of those coaches, just about every program I've driven for, so you can say it to all of them if you see them. Thank you for what we're doing with our kids, because it sure makes a difference. I think we can also say that to the parents. We've got parents of some students sitting in here right now, but again, it's a great reflection back on those parents as well. So good things.
Thank you. All right, next is the superintendent's report.
I'm going to start it off because I think she's got to get somewhere else too, as I'm going to turn it. We're rolling. We might even get to the action items for you. But Sasha Altoff and Todd Hall and Steve Miller are here. I'm a member of this enterprise zone, I guess, as the superintendent has always been. So I enjoyed some meetings with them, but they're coming to you tonight with needing some help.
They're coming here.
Yes. Thank you.
That way you're on the microphone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Good evening, I'm Sasha Altoff. I am with the City of Effingham, and I'm the Enterprise Zone Administrator of the Effingham County Enterprise Zone. So we are here tonight to talk to you about the proposed additions to the current Enterprise Zone incentives to include residential development. Local employers are needing more employees, and one of the barriers to hiring has been a lack of housing in the area. By adding the proposed incentives to the enterprise zone, the hope is to ease the burden of the cost to build a single-family home or multifamily homes. Effingham is requesting that the school board would approve a residential property abatement in the enterprise zone under the following guidelines. We're looking at a 3-year full property tax abatement for new multifamily dwellings of 2 units or more, a 5-year property tax abatement for any new construction of a single-family home, and these are within the current zone boundaries. Along with that, which you guys won't need to approve tonight, but to let you know, residential projects will also receive a sales tax abatement on their permanently affixed building materials if they would have a project that is $50,000 or more. And likewise, the new multifamily dwellings and the single-family homes would also receive that benefit. Just to kind of remind you about what the enterprise zone is doing now, you guys currently have passed a resolution where the property taxes have been abated for 3 years on commercial projects and 7 years on industrial projects. So this would be in addition to that. We have been to the city, the county, and the village of Teotopoulos. The city and the village have passed the ordinances for the intergovernmental agreement. We are still working on the county to get that passed with them, and we have begun coming to all of the taxing districts. This affects about a little over 20 taxing districts, the boundaries of the zone. So like we mentioned, I would be going to Montrose. I got to go to St. Francis Township after this and present it to them. So it's quite a bit of meetings to attend.
Sasha mentioned on the map, we're not looking to add any additional properties into the zone. So we would just be amending the zone where we would add the housing component. And just real briefly, the enterprise zone has been in existence since 1988. This is the current zone that we have right now is a new zone, but it's been a tool that we've utilized over the years to attract industries and businesses into the city, assist existing businesses to expand and continue to grow. So this tool is something that's been around a long time. We have not had the housing component in it or as part of it. Altamont does have housing in their enterprise zone. There are zones throughout the state that have housing. It is something that's being looked at, I think, throughout the zones, as far as looking to add the housing component, just because everybody's experiencing this housing crunch that's there. We have multiple businesses, industries, commercial businesses right now that are looking to add in employees and cannot find workers. And part of that problem is there's nowhere for these workers to locate at when they do come into town. So it's something that we've looked at for a long time, and we just feel this might be the tool to just help with the whole housing problem.
And I represent our district on that board or with them, been to a couple meetings. First and foremost, I would say thank you to both of you and Steve for the amount of time you're putting in for the betterment of this community moving forward. I told them you all get to make that decision as your support or not. From my standpoint, I see no reason why not to support that because it again promotes growth. And I think that's what we probably all need. I did tell them the same thing that I think all of you are aware of. We had a young lady accept a job here in, what was it, maybe May or June, and turned around and resigned before summer was up because she couldn't find affordable housing here. So it's a problem. Not that you didn't know that already, but that just adds to the pile, I think.
As someone who's purchased a house in the last year, I can testify that there is not a lot of affordable housing available in Effingham. So I think it's a positive thing. I did notice that the county board voted it down. What was their thinking about that? Or did they give reasons for that?
I think that we're still working on them understanding. So one of the reasons is the way we presented it was they were unsure about the property tax abatement, but they couldn't say yes to one part and no to the other by the way the ordinance was structured. So we hope to go back in a future meeting and discuss that.
Which meeting was this?
The county board, Effingham County Board.
So the city, the county, and the village of Teutopolis are the governing bodies for the enterprise zone. So not only do they have to pass a resolution similar to what we're presenting to the board tonight, but they also have to pass an ordinance amending how the zone's set up so we can add the housing component. So that's what Sasha was saying. There's really two parts to what they were looking at.
Okay.
What is the percentage of that? How many bodies did you say? 20 something?
I think it's around 20, 21, 22.
How many, do we have to have, is it got to be unanimous for this to go? Didn't think so.
No, it would just, let's say the school district didn't pass it, then properties within the Unit 40 school district would get whatever taxes abated that did pass it. It could be everything but, or this would be 100%.
But that would be an incentive for somebody to locate in this area.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I would encourage us to support it, but we've got an action item later in the meeting that we'll take that up.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions for them while they're here? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next will be the strategic planning and goal setting sessions. We'll begin actually this week, but next week on my notes. Tomorrow night, 6 to 9 o'clock right here. I've got somewhere between 30 and 35 participants. Just so people know, as I put the board in position to help give suggestions to community members, parents. I've used administration. I've used several different avenues. I don't know if you know yet, but your son's been invited.
Yeah, my wife is telling me.
Did she tell you?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
So your son's a sophomore.
Yes, he is.
And anyway, there's several people that will be starting that process tomorrow night. It will be, and people probably don't know this yet because I talked to Dr. Volz with EDLS today. And he's going to need to add a fourth meeting. So the plan is that we will meet tomorrow night. We will meet on October 11th. We'll meet on November 1st. And then we'll probably finish up on November 15th with the idea of hopefully having some major over-encompassing goals or our strategic plan thrown in underneath that to put us in a position to move forward as a district. I think this board, in the short period of time that I've worked with them so far, are very, very interested in growth and very interested in prospering and moving this district in a direction that's very, very beneficial for students. And this is a commitment that I believe was being discussed back when you did the superintendent search. So we're carrying that through. One of the pieces too that I'll tell all of you right now in talking with Dr. Volz, one of the biggest things that I've seen in the short time that I've been in education, which is about 27 years. A lot of times you do these and you take that booklet and it sets up on the shelf and it doesn't ever get carried through. That is not something I'm interested in doing here. I do think that we should stay locked in with this firm for multiple years as we move forward so that they are coming in to assess us from the outside, from an external assessor, to make sure we're meeting those goals that we set and things of that nature as we move forward. So that'll be discussed tomorrow night, but we're 6 to 9 here tomorrow night. And I mean, it's open to the public, but really not going to be much that people can do because we've got invited people that will split up in different teams and do a lot of brainstorming. So looking forward to that and appreciate the board's willingness to seek this type of movement for our district.
Okay. Next is a foundation report, which was enclosed. The only thing I'll comment a couple of things. One, this morning, the foundation delivered almost 400 goodie bags to every employee in the district to just say, we see you, we thank you, we appreciate what you do. And that's a project of the foundations. We also are in the first week of October listening to applications for teacher grants. And then, of course, our big fundraiser is Breakfast with Santa, which is scheduled for the first Saturday in December. I don't have the date on that, but it's always the first Saturday in December at the EHS Hearts Rock Cafe. Okay. Anything on the Kerner Sports Spectacular?
Well, we did have a FOIA request. We had one. Smart Procure, I believe, is the company. Just interested in information about our vending expenditures. That's a FOIA that goes to everybody.
We've done that before.
Right.
Yeah.
Kerner Sports outing. I do think it needs to be duly noted as we start. Would you like to share with somebody like to share with the group? We had 2 teams in it. One we always have is the coaches. The other one's the administration and board.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the
board
maybe the
team beat the coaches
maybe the
team.
coaches
Let's
have
just
won
put
in
it
the
out
past,
there.
That should be the headline.
But no, what I would say though is, that's the first time I've ever been a part of something of that nature. And to turn around and watch them write out $46,500 checks to 2 entities before we left. I'm sorry, I've never seen that before. So it's tremendous about the support that is poured out to both St. Anthony and us from an athletic standpoint. The Kerner family, this has started, it'll be 30 years, I was told. And the whole idea was 30 years ago to basically just be above and beyond what the school district already was able to do. And it's a tremendous outing, amazing people out there. Some very good golfers, and then they let some people that are terrible ride along. Because I certainly wasn't there for the golf part. But we do appreciate that, and I'll shout out to Dave Waltman. I think he's heavily involved. I think he's a member of the country club out there when this is all taking place too. So a lot of people and a lot of things go into it. I appreciate the board members that were involved as well.
Okay. Moving on to new business. First, we have
Let me try one more. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
This is the part that I wanted to throw out there and
Oh.
make sure that we, one of the items that will take place later on is the resignation of Mr. Fox that moved on to Decatur to be the Director of Human Relations. Really appreciate the service that he gave this district over, what was it, 24, 25 years. Lots and lots and lots and lots of knowledge about the district walked out the door. And we're doing okay. But I just want to say thank you to him. If you see him at some ball games and stuff like that, he and I have worked very well. He's tried to, in the course of 10 days, clog up my brain for what's done on the business side. And to this point, I don't think we've made any mistakes. So I think we're doing okay on that level. But I think from all of us, I think we appreciate the time that Jason gave us. And I do think it was obviously time for him to go. And we had lots of conversations about that. And he was very good about it. And feels like he's in a great place. I talked to him earlier today. He helped me with some more financial stuff still yet. And he's going to stay hooked with us. And we're trying to transition everything off. Our paychecks even say Jason Fox still home. I can't get my name on there yet. But that will come with time. But and his wife Jennifer's still with us, same capacity she's always been. I think that's been a question that's been asked of me many a times. So thanks to Jason. If you see him, obviously tell him we appreciate him, and we'll go from there. Okay. Okay.
Okay, now on to
Sorry.
new business. That's okay. New business. First, the FY23 crisis plan approval. This plan has been updated with feedback from local authorities. Each school does hold a crisis team meeting, and of course, safety is a huge priority in Unit 40. I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the FY23 crisis plan.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Desha. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Jane. Roll call.
Robin,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Next, the FY23 tentative budget. We have posted the budget again for 30 days. We just held the hearing. You want to speak at all?
Only thing I would say is there's not really anything changed since our August meeting when we shared with you what we were doing with the budget. I believe Jason shared it that night.
Right.
I would just reemphasize again the importance behind we estimate to the fact that we'll show some deficit. We're not planning to show a deficit, but that's just kind of a protection for us as we move forward. I would anticipate every year we've amended the budget near the end of the year to make it, crisp some things up. I didn't do that in the previous school district, but it has been done here. So we will plan at least for this year, most likely to continue that practice. And then we're not into it yet, but it'll be next month. I would like to also go ahead and say, and those taxing bodies that are in here can probably chime in with me. We're all fortunate that there is a TIF coming off the books, or did come off the books, that there is a lot, there's going to be some significant money brought back into the district and some taxing bodies. But I think that's another prime example, in my opinion, when you deal with TIFs, that though it may hurt, you think it hurts originally, but it's attracting people. And then when you get to the point that TIF is coming off the books, you gain some money back. And I think it works pretty good, I guess is what I would say. I don't know if you would like to add anything, but.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's been a tool that the city's been able to utilize over the years and improve the district boundaries, and yes, it's helped bring in businesses and people and workers and students.
Right.
It's had its critics in the past in some locations, but I think it depends on how it's managed and if you work with your other taxing bodies to make it a positive experience.
I would agree. And I say all that with the idea that I'm trying to set the tone for October, because in October, we're going to come back with a levy, and a levy is going to show a very aggressive increase, but it's due to that TIF EAV jumping and coming back onto our books. Okay. It's not because I'm going out and raising property taxes. So I want to get that word out there now as we slide into the next couple months when we do present the levy, because I think that's important to understand. It's not us trying to go get a bunch more money. So that's all I'd say about the budget. We're very fortunate right now and doing good things with our money.
All right, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve the FY23 budget resolution as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second?
second by Brad. Roll call.
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin.
Yes, motion carries. Next, we have the maintenance grant submittal. The district has the ability to apply for up to $50,000 in matching maintenance grant funds for a project. And we are looking at the central gym roof replacement as a project to utilize these funds if approved.
Actually, that's
Hmm.
probably not correct.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't get that update. That was from last year's. Let's
Okay,
rewind. Don't write that down. We're actually gonna use it.
Off the record.
We're using it for the HVAC projects because we've got some,
Not at central, just in general
that's
for the
correct.
district.
Right. And it may be at Southside, to be honest with you, because we've still got that project.
Okay, so it's
To finish.
$50,000 in matching maintenance grant funds for a project, and we're looking at HVAC.
Yeah, and I've got it listed right here. Hang on one second.
Upgrades.
Yeah. Sorry, that one's on me. That's, it's Southside project. It'll be the Southside project. Window AC and boilers will be removed. Then we're going to RTUs, rooftop units. That'll be replacing those. The overall project, which again was already spec'd out from the architects and part of a phased process, is $242,250, and we'll use $50,000 of the state matching to match that. So my mistake,
Okay.
sorry.
All right,
Not for reasons.
so anything else on that? Any discussion or questions? So we are looking to apply for up to $50,000 in matching maintenance grant funds that will be used at Southside to upgrade the HVAC system, et cetera.
Correct.
Motion and second to approve the application.
Motion.
Motion by Chad. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Desha. Roll call.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Yes. Motion carried. Okay. Next, we have the approval of a memorandum of agreement between the Board of Education and the ECTA. This is about creating a junior high school cross-country assistant coaching position and providing for its stipends. We've talked about this before. We have a large number of students set the junior high out for cross-country, which is great. Way more than one coach should be handling. So I will entertain a motion and a second to approve this memorandum of agreement creating a junior high school assistant cross-country coaching position and a stipend for the same. Motion for the 2022-23 school year.
Motion.
Motion by Brad. Is there a second? Second by Chad. Roll call.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Brad.
And that'll be evaluated on a yearly basis.
Okay, next we have approve a memorandum of understanding between the Board of Education and the ECTA. And this involves a leave of absence during the FY23 school year and a guarantee for her licensed position in the district once she is able to come back to work, and that is Mary Walters. Again, we have talked about this also. I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the memorandum of understanding with the ECTA and Mary Walters for the 2022-23 school year.
Motion.
Motion by Desha. I'll second that. Roll call.
Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes,
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes.
motion carries. Next, we're going to approve a bid or look at a bid for a new maintenance truck. The used price on trucks almost as much as a new truck. And the used truck price reflects a truck that's a couple years old and has about 45,000 miles on it. Do you have anything else you want to say on that?
Only other thing I would say is, because we've had some inquiries since since the bid went out from some local people, or since the notice went out. This is a state, we're purchasing off the state bid, and the state bid went to somewhere, it's, I think it's Bob Writings.
Bob Writings, I think it said.
Bob
Bob
Writings in
Writings,
Taylorville. So that's why it wasn't purchased local, because I am about doing things local. But again, we were told by some local people they couldn't even get this truck. And how was that company getting it? That's not for me. That's, so anyway, that's what I know. And then we were hoping to get a used one and save some money, but it didn't make sense.
Okay, any discussion on that? Or questions? All right, then I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the bid to purchase a 2022 one-ton maintenance truck.
Make a motion.
Motion by Desha,
Second.
second by Chad. Roll call.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes,
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad.
Yes.
motion carries. Next, we are looking at a state bid for 2 new vans. The van purchase price for each van, which is a Chrysler Pacifica, is $39,856. We would include 2 add-ons, 1 interior protection package, and a Mopar splash guard. The district will trade or silent bid 2 of the current 4 vans for the new vans and pay the difference of the value provided to us for the trade-ins and the new purchase price for the new vans. Questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve the bid to purchase 2 2023 Chrysler Pacifica vans.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Desha,
I'll second it.
second by Jane. Roll call.
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad.
Yes.
Desha.
Yes. Okay, next we have a price quote to repair the parking lot near the baseball and football fields. During the turf scoreboard project, a large section of the asphalt parking lot by the baseball field was damaged and needs to be repaired. The worst section has been patched, but we need to repair an area from the south entrance gate of the football field to Route 40. We have a quote from Effingham Asphalt for the completion of this work. With the patch already done, the district would have a cost of $34,445 to repair the area. We recommend that to move forward, getting this work done as soon as possible in order to avoid further damage during the winter freeze and thaw. Questions or comments?
So was the company that did the damage liable for that?
I was just thinking the same thing. If we
Small
talked to
portion
them-
of it.
A small.
We were told probably a couple $1,000. Yep.
And why wouldn't it be more than that? Or why were they only liable for a small portion since it was their equipment that damaged it?
This is all through the transition time too, so
Sure.
I haven't been involved in that conversation, so I apologize for that part, but you can leave it tabled and let me revisit it next month, but we get that much closer to,
Right.
or you approve it and I'll still go work on it anyway. If we get some more extra money, then we put it towards this.
I think it's better to find out more. I mean, we've got some time. I think it's not gonna,
We can do that.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
think it's worth further conversation with them. So, I mean, they knew where they were parking this equipment and driving this equipment, and saw it ahead of time, and chose this spot, right?
Yep. I can do that.
Okay, so we'll table that item.
Table it. Yep.
All right, next we have the revision of pay raise for certified substitutes effective October 1, 2022. This revised rate is for retired teacher substitute pay of $200 a day. You must be a teacher who retired from employment from Effingham Community Unit number 40. Of course, we're doing this to try to attract people to substitute teach, and we value people who have been employed in our district already. So that's why we're raising that rate.
And it was a local school district that did this. You probably reported on it. And I researched with them to see if it made a difference, and it has made a vast difference. So I think it's worth a shot here.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And
Just wondering if school board members are eligible.
Only if you have a
Only
teaching
if you're
degree.
certified.
Throw that in.
All right. I will entertain a motion and a second to approve an increase of certified substitute teacher pay to $200 per day for any and all retired certified teachers of Effingham CUSD number 40, effective October 1st, 2022.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Chad. Roll call.
Robin,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Julie, Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have upgrades to the EHS drama facilities. The upgrades were originally approved at the August 4th Facilities Transportation Committee meeting, but the information we received now is the most recent request.
And I don't know if do you recall approving this back some time ago? I don't think you did.
Oh.
I don't remember talking about it.
There's been a lot of discussion, so I just thought it'd be good.
Well,
to have
maybe
your
this was,
approval
I
and
know
discussion.
that, I see this came from Mr. Borelli, the estimate, or he got the estimates, and he's the one that usually does. The foundation has gotten some things, lighting, primarily for the drama department there, partly. It's very expensive. And I know that often he had to talk with Mr. Fox, so I don't know if that's kind of where this transpired or not.
I think so.
But,
And I'll be coming to you next month with the junior high, because we didn't have the junior high little communication issue on my end. So I'll get with her and make sure that's all ready to go for.
Okay, so do we want to table this until we have the junior high, or we want to go ahead with it?
I'd go ahead with the high
Okay.
school, and then I'll bring you the junior high
Okay.
one. and
All
we'll
right.
go with the junior high.
Any questions or comments about this? I do think it's very important that we keep upgrading other facilities that are used by groups other than athletic groups. And of course, drama is a huge activity at the high school and the junior high both. So I strongly favor this. I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the upgrade to the EHS drama facilities to not exceed $25,000. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Second by Brad. Roll call.
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin.
Yes, motion carries. Next, we have approval to purchase a 4-well natural gas fryer for the kitchen. I think Mr. Johnson's going to talk a little bit about that.
I will. The current fryer is about 23 years old. We have to get the maintenance guys in. Every time we light it, we got to get down underneath it. And yeah, we'll stop there. It's just, it's not a good situation. So I felt in researching with our legal counsel that we are not bidding this, and I'm asking you to approve it without a bid under an emergency situation. The unfortunate part about this is the emergency part of it is right now, if we order this tomorrow, it's out 40 weeks before it gets here. So we've got a company coming in to work on the fryer to hopefully just patch it up or whatever we got to do to get by. But in doing this, I also asked Ryan to get a couple quotes, so he did. The original one was, I think, 57,000. I think this one's just under 40, isn't it?
36 or something,
36 something.
37,694.
So a lot less expensive. And then now he's researched, of course, and just about everything across the board that he could get is that same $37,000. So
And they're pretty much all 40 weeks out, regardless of the price.
that's the quickest we can get. Yep.
Okay.
So
Is this the only fryer that the EHS kitchen needs, or they have different fryers?
no, I think this will be it.
It's
I don't 100% know that, but it's the only one he's brought to my attention. So I will tell you that you probably better be ready for continual.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
everything in that kitchen was probably put in at the same time or replaced at the same time. We may be going down that road a little bit here, but
And I think most
we need
people
to fix
still
it.
think of that building as being new. And it's 25 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
It seems like it should.
You know, but yeah, I think most people do think of it as being new, but it's 25 years old.
Well,
so-
it is new to 1939 when it crossed the
Well-
river.
I always called in that building the new section, and that was a section that opened in 1964. I did that one until the day I retired. I'm going to the new section. Okay, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the use of the emergency bid exemption to approve the 4-well natural gas fire for the EHS kitchen.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Dasha, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jane, roll
Jane,
call.
yes. Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have the grease trap repair work that needs approved. The district has been keeping an eye on the grease trap at ELC for years, finally rusted out, it's needed being replaced. Newly installed grease trap will be moved outside to cut down on the smell moving forward. Received 2 bids on the scope of the work. Feel at the time that we need to move forward with DHM's bid. The work will be performed the week of Christmas break this year while school is out of session. Any questions or comments on that?
This would be a good place for me also to insert. You are aware the reasons these are coming to you is because we have a limit of approval. If it's over $10,000, I got to bring it to you.
Right.
Okay, because I know you're sitting here going, well, if we need to fix a grease trap, fix it. If we need to buy a fryer, buy it. But I can't based on the current policy. Okay, so I just want everybody in the room to know a lot of this stuff, honestly, with a $35-40 million budget like we have, could be approved by me and you endorse that if we did something different on the policy. But it's thought for another day. But the next one coming up is going to be in that same category.
Okay.
The only reason I bring some of that up. Okay.
Okay, the DHM bid was for $15,800.
Correct.
So I'll mention that. All right, so I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the.
But then there's another bid too, right? I mean,
Yes, and it's 21.
That's high.
yeah.
And this is the whole thing,
21.5.
but, so we're approving the.
We're
No.
approving the 15.8.
Those were the 2 bids.
Those were
Oh.
2 competing bids.
I
Yep,
see.
we're going with the
I got it.
less
So the
expensive.
total cost that we're approving is $15,800.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the DHM bid for $15,800 for the replacement of the grease trap at the ELC building.
Motion.
Motion by Chad, is there a second?
Second.
Steve.
Second by Steve, roll call.
Jane, yes. Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Okay, next we have the landscaping projects for the board office and east side.
And we did check with all properties. And one of the reasons why we're coming to you right now with just these 2 is that's what the company, Wilkie Nursery, basically said they could get done this fall. Plus, we don't want to do landscaping on properties where there could still be some construction work done and turn around, beat that new landscape up and have to do it again. So that's why we're coming to you with 2 right now. We might come in next fall or next spring with 2 more, and then next fall with 2 more, but it could be pushed back a little bit farther than that.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments on
The price,
the
the
bids,
price
the,
of-
the bid for the, let's see, for the board office is $4,517.75. And it looks very nice in the pictures. And the bid for, I missed the other bid, I guess.
It's $96.35. $96.
Yeah, for east side.
$9,634,
Do
right?
you know how many bids we received? I'm just curious.
We didn't, we just quoted. We didn't
Okay.
seek bids.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I do see this does include edging and rock, as well as the plants, the landscape design.
And if you want, we can hold this off and go get bids. We're not
Oh, just-
required to bid it
Yeah.
unless
I was
it's,
just curious.
is it 20 or 25, I think is a cut somewhere in there.
No, this
Looks
looks
good.
very nice to me.
Yeah,
We
it's
just
really
had the
nice.
same company do our, some work for us, and it's really nice work.
Looks good.
So I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the quote from Wolke Nursery for landscaping projects at the Unit 40 Board Office in East Side.
Motion,
Motion by Brad,
the other Chad.
Second.
second by Chad, roll call.
Chad,
Yes.
Tisha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes,
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes.
motion carries. Next, appointment of a new treasurer and approve the treasurer bond agreement. So this will cancel Jason Fox as a treasurer or bond representative for Unit 40 and approve Andrew B. Johnson to become the possessor of the Unit 40 Treasurer's Bond insurance for the remainder of the fiscal year until June 30th, 2023.
The reason we took that route, we weren't real sure that the superintendent could be the treasurer, so I checked with legal aspects, and they said that is fine. I would rather it not be that way, but right now, I think it is the best option moving forward until we figure out what we will do with the position that was vacated. So we have to have a treasurer.
Yes.
Okay, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the appointment of the new treasurer, Andrew Johnson, and approve the treasurer bond agreement.
Motion.
Motion by Steve, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dasha, roll call.
Tisha,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes,
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad.
Yes.
motion carries. Okay, next we have discussion on transportation software. The Transportation Department is requesting the purchase of Traversa transportation software by Tyler Technologies. We're currently using Versatran software by Tyler Technologies that was purchased in 2012. Our current software is not user-friendly, very out of date compared to Traversa. The district actually houses the Versatran program on our server, which requires our IT guys to manage and problem shoot. Traversa is cloud-based, and Tyler Technology will manage and problem shoot. Traversa will also help with routing. The sky's the limit with Traversa. We can see live tracking on buses, problem shoot engine issues at the exact moment an engine light comes on. Parents can see live tracking for their son or daughter on their route, push notifications to parents if a bus is running late, tablets for turn-by-turn direction on routes that a sub-bus driver would be driving, route building in a click of a button, and so much more. Traversa can help the Transportation Department streamline routing, especially at the beginning of the school year. Flora and Newton school districts both use this program and have given great feedback. The quote includes the first year setup fees as well as recurring fees for the next 2 years. Okay, anything else?
Number one, it's safe. It creates more safety on our buses. It creates better efficiency for delivering students, in my opinion. It takes out of the equation the human error of dropping a kid off at a house that they don't live at. Not that we've had that happen, but there is always that possibility. One of the toughest positions in the district is to get on that bus after a day in the school building, 35 and 40 kids, and get them home safely. Okay? We weren't able to go to the extent in Jasper County as what we're proposing right here to you. And that frustrated me because, again, it's a safety mechanism built in. And I think this is the future of many transportation places. And again, I don't know if you caught in there, that basically what it will have is it'll have a GPS tracker on it that, for one, God forbid anything were to ever happen and that bus not be on the route that it's supposed to be on and we see it from the office, you might not be able to call in and tell us that we've got a problem, but we can see that it's off. You also, as a parent, will be able to sit at home and watch your child and know that, they're 3 stops away or whatever it is. I was telling our coaches coming home the other night from the ball game that I don't know if this will work, but I think it would be neat if, say, we're going to a volleyball game and on our way back, our coaches always scream back to the kids, tell them we're 15 minutes. Instead, you could already be sitting at your couch and go, they just got on the bus at Mount Zion. It's going to be 45 minutes to an hour, right? So I think there's some things that, we can say that's luxury. I don't think it's luxury. I think it's, again, a means of communication that is extremely important in this process. Is it expensive? Yeah, it is expensive. So is the safety of my kids. So
And I think
I
at the
think it's good.
beginning of the year, every year, we have issues with the scheduling, confusion,
it's a nightmare.
and that's really frustrating for families, and hopefully this will solve some of that too.
I've had-
And I'm all for this, I was at the meeting, the transportation meeting, and
Right.
I'm on board. But I was thinking of some questions, is our IT department, are they gonna be integral in helping the transportation people get this all up to speed?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like one of those things, like your computer, it can do so much, and I wanna make sure we use it.
Agreed. And the answer is yes, our IT guys can.
And
Our
do they
guys do a
include
great
some
job
training
helping
here?
I think
They
it
do.
does, doesn't it?
I'm sure it does.
I would
What was the
expect it
question?
to.
What was
Some
the question?
training.
Training.
Yeah, it's in
Training,
there.
is it in there?
Yeah,
'Cause I was
read it
looking-
earlier, it said training.
I was looking to make sure that the implementation costs were in there. It says installation of geotabs. I would just clarify that all the implementation costs, as Brad can attest,
Right,
that's where the
can
real
get expensive.
gets expensive quickly.
In training, you'd want to make sure that's called out as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
I don't know that I see it
Is it
specifically.
spelled out specifically how many training hours we receive? Because
I read that one.
Try to find it again.
those are usually things that you negotiate in the beginning
Right.
to increase, because you want to make sure that we don't have just one person that receives the training, because then we have turnover and then that knowledge goes with them.
Right.
Well, it says on-site training classes are limited to 5 persons and delivered in 8-hour increments.
Okay.
That's a footnote number 2 on the, I don't know,
Which page is
the
it?
second page.
Second.
And there are apparently some online training classes too. So I'm not sure if you automatically get both of them.
Yeah, where does it say what we get?
Additional training hours which can be used for 1, 2.
I just want to make sure that's clarified. As
Yeah,
far as
there
what we
should
do
be
get,
an agreement that we have to sign that
Should have that spelled
designates
out.
it
Pilot
specifically.
drive configuration training and end user training for up to 35 drivers.
But nothing about administrators.
Yeah, I
When
don't
were
know.
we anticipating implementing?
Next fall? I
This,
mean, it to be used next fall.
if we pay for it tonight, if we approve it tonight, no, I think we would as soon as possible. We're not putting in we're not putting devices in every single vehicle. We will be putting the Geo
Geotab, yeah, right.
on every school vehicle. I'm almost positive we were going to try to get this as soon as possible once it's approved.
Does the IT team have bandwidth now with everything they've got going on to be able to add on another project?
Well, but I thought this talks about it's cloud-based, so we don't.
We'll still have,
Well, yeah,
We'll
still have work we have to do.
Yeah, as far as the
Administrative system getting
implementation.
Set up, making sure everything's set up. appropriately.
Right. I didn't talk to them.
Was it in the tech
Yeah.
committee? I wasn't at the tech committee on Monday.
It didn't come up at the check committee.
Right.
I think it was talked at, was it at Transportation and Facilities? Yeah.
And I have no idea, but do we need to run it by the tech people to make sure that,
I mean, if we're gonna do it now, we should make sure they got time to do it now.
Yeah. I can look into that. I mean, I can check right now
Well,
too.
I was gonna say, it's a pretty big investment, and I think that
Right.
what they're saying about clarifying the training hours and all of that
All
would
the
be really
implementation
important
costs and everything.
to have.
Is that cost only
Yeah.
good for a certain amount of time? Does it say that on there? Is the
Let's see.
prices are valid until October 22nd, 2022?
Yeah.
So that means
Have to have a special meeting.
next meeting, I think that,
Or does
What's
the
the next
next
meeting?
meeting fall in there?
I think it does, doesn't it?
October 24th.
Ha.
22nd Saturday, we meet on Monday, the 24th. You could ask them
Maybe I
if
can
they
ask them
would
to extend it to the
extend it for
24th.
2 days.
I'd ask to extend to the 31st, just to be a little buffer.
Yeah.
But
I'll
They
get
should
some more
give us the
information.
actual agreement, the details, because
Yeah, that's not in here.
that's not in here.
No.
The thing they're going to ask you to sign, Andy, that's what you want.
Yep,
Okay.
I'll contact them.
Okay, so we'll table
Get back
that
Is that-
until we get a little more information, even though we're obviously in favor. We're
Yes.
all
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
seemingly in
Yeah.
favor of
Does
it,
that
just a
warrant
matter of
another committee
clarification.
meeting before the board meeting, or no? Since it's already here, probably not.
No,
I don't think
just,
it does.
well, I
Just
mean,
check
we
with the
can
IT
share
team.
what you
Yeah.
learn.
Absolutely. Will do. You think of more stuff, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, we just don't want you to have to go through all the
Tech
stress
guys.
we've been through.
Right. Yes. Just find out the hard way. There's
Yeah,
no
there's a
fun.
reason we're asking all these questions.
Right,
All right, so we good with that?
yes, absolutely.
Okay, then next we are going to move on to approval of the enterprise zone resolution. Any other discussion about that before we vote on that?
So the downside is that we don't get
Tax.
tax money for 3 years.
On multifamily and 5 on single family.
And the benefit is that if it brings more people, then eventually we'll get more tax money.
Yeah.
Right.
Paris just approved something very similar, a little
Yeah,
bit
they
different incentives, but
Yeah.
something similar.
I just want to clarify that a little bit. It's on the increase to the base, so whatever tax is being generated on the property at that time, the taxing body still receives that. It's just the improvements are abated for the 3 and 5 years.
Oh, okay.
That's a good point.
And that's
thanks
for new
clarifying that.
construction.
Correct.
It's not renovation or anything, just new construction.
Renovation's in there, but it's
Okay,
Over 50,000.
over 50,000.
But for the renovations, you only can receive the sales tax and the building materials. So there's no real estate tax abatement associated with renovations.
okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, anything else? If not, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve the enterprise zone resolution provided by the Enterprise Zone Board.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second?
second by Chad, roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes,
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha.
Yes.
motion carries. Okay, next, we are moving on to approval of an application of early childhood construction grant for the purpose of constructing a pre-K building addition on the Central School campus. The district has the ability to apply for up to $10 million in a 7.5% matching grant. We are looking at building a pre-K addition on the west side of the current Central School building if the state awards the district the funds. Administration is asking for approval to apply for the ISBE Early Childhood Construction Grant funding for up to $10 million. The district's cost for the project will be paid through the Education or Operation and Maintenance Fund balance.
No questions?
Well, when I
Where do we
saw
start?
it, I've already called Andy as soon as I read it. Because I was just very concerned about the location.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned about the central location because I know there are many parents who love Central School and want their children get a Central School, but can't wait till they're done because of its location.
Right.
Because for if you live on the west side of town,
It's
some of
great.
them take, yeah, well.
Yeah, it worked out for me too, right?
But if you live on the west side of town, out towards the lake, sometimes it's 30+ minutes to get to Central School.
Yeah.
So when I saw that location, I was concerned. Now I know that there's been, of course, we own the land by the high school, but I also know that there's been concern about air quality there because of what happens at the regrinding place across the highway. What came to my mind was all the money we just spent at East Side and new parking lot we're spending there. Now we're landscaping there, and I'm thinking, and that's the preschool building. So, and I know that it's landlocked there in that block, but couldn't we go up? Couldn't we build up on that building? Make that a bigger building? It's a perfect location, central in town. I don't know. I just wondered if all the possibilities were considered before Central School was chosen as the best possibility.
First of all, as I have addressed a couple times already, the site is not in concrete based on this application. The application that I shared with you states, do you own the property? That's all it asks.
Okay.
And we did put where we would potentially put this project is at Central. Does it have to go to Central? No. It
Do you
does
have
not.
to put it down where it's going to go? I mean, you have to
We just-
designate a
We
school.
put, I think we put the address on here, didn't we? It's still in the works, so it's not even close to done. All we're seeking is, to be honest with you, through this application is your permission to apply for a $10 million.
Right.
Right.
What we do with it, where we put it, how we do it is really irrelevant right now, because if the state doesn't give it to us, we're probably not looking at doing this right now.
Yeah.
If the state does give it to us, then I think we should look into doing something along the lines. I agree 100% that we put money into buildings, but the value of that building just went up as soon as we did that. So if we decide to sell those buildings because we're moving out of some of them, I think that's a good thing. Here's where, and again, this application is due the 10th of October, and I found out about it, what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? So I've tried to expedite the process of just being eligible for. And again, I ask you, they're gonna give us 10 million. We have to put 750,000 in it.
Mhm.
That's what we're asking, okay? To me, we have the 750 that we can put 10 million, and I'd love to go to the bank all day long with that setup.
Sure.
Now, if we don't want to spend $10 million, I'll be honest with you, my life would be a whole lot easier in here right now if I wasn't looking at a grant application in this process. But I think the thing that I laid awake a couple nights and thought was, because I've asked multiple times, why Central? Why out there? And here's one. We had a young man visit our South Side, I believe it was, South Side School, week and a half ago, up to the fence to talk to a little girl on the inside of that fence. And I didn't like it. And the principal asked me, what am I supposed to do? I said, call the police. I don't care who you are. I don't care if somebody in this room approaches that fence. We're calling the police. You have no business there. That is in my mind. And I'm sitting here going, okay, if we go south of town, I'm not gonna have people walking up to my property line out there. And my hope would be that we could fence that property out there, get traffic off of the main road, and divert it onto our campus so that we don't have all the problems that we have out there. Air quality in town, congestion. I don't know if we move towards putting a pre-K through fifth grade, which again, I'm not saying we shut Central down right now, but do we at some point want pre-K through fifth grade all on the same property? From a safety standpoint, I do. From a standpoint, if we're going to go out and get more patrolmen or SROs to help us man our properties, it's not a very good situation right now, in my opinion. And again, I think it comes back to safety, convenience. I agree. As a parent, I wouldn't want to drive out there. But if I knew it kept my kids safer, I'd probably drive.
Yeah, I guess my initial reaction to that would be if we have big safety concerns at our schools in town, like South Side or East Side, where it is now, then we need to do something to correct that. I don't, whatever that is, we need to,
I have concerns.
that we need, I think we need to investigate that and do something about that rather than just say we need to move some of them out of town.
We are.
So that would be my first thought. And my second,
Sure.
I think all of us probably agree, we need to apply for a $10 million grant.
Yeah,
And
right.
then,
That's- they're two
and then at
different
some
issues.
point,
Yeah.
we can, if we get that, then we can debate. where we
Right.
want to go. The other question I have, want to throw out there, and this doesn't, I mean, it comes up every time we start talking about building a school or using the property when we were looking at the sports thing out there. It always comes up about the air quality out there. And we own quite a bit of property there. And I know years ago, that was always the thought, was that property would be used down the road at some point unknown to build the next school, whatever it was going to be, and try to get them all in the same general locale. So my question is there something environmentally that would, that we need to investigate about the business that is causing the poor air quality? Is there some limitation about what they must do or can or can't do? Or, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't know. It seems like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just wondering if it makes all of our property unusable for kids.
We should have left. I didn't realize that air quality there was that big of an issue. I know there's probably some dust.
I think it's not every day.
not
I
every
think
day,
it's
no,
just
right.
moments. There's moments when they're doing something, grinding,
Grinding material, things like that.
right, that people complain about. They can even get through with their cars and barely see out the windshield. I mean, I just heard people comment about that. That came up when we were talking about
Christian said it
using
even
the
affects the
property.
buses, the dust.
Okay, so, yeah.
They could use water to suppress that and coming across the highway. If that's a safety issue, then I think that should be addressed.
Well, she just said the buses complain about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, to me, that's a concern, maybe something that could be looked into, because I mean, we have a lot of property out there
Right.
that's basically, every time it comes up, people were saying it's not usable because of the air quality. Well,
Right.
that seems like a shame.
Has anybody talked to him about it?
Isn't it canvases?
Huh?
Isn't it canvases?
It's Effingham Reground.
In the 3 months that I've been here, I have not.
Yeah.
But I'll be glad to. I mean, that's,
Well, it would just be and perhaps the city could check in on it and see.
I honestly just wanted to see if we could get approved of the grant tonight. I'm sorry, but I wasn't
I thought you were
after.
talking about John Booth, so you're talking about.
No, we're talking about
The high school.
the high school. We're talking about all that land on the other side of the fields.
We-
It's vacant.
25 acres.
You're talking about Capitol.
25 acres,
I got you.
what we have.
Yeah.
We have 38 out there, is what I was told.
Okay.
At the end of the day, again, and I told Desha this when we spoke about it, we can look at putting it on both of those properties if we get it.
Or we could go up the
Okay.
east side.
Or we could go up and inside.
You think
That's not an option I have
creatively.
looked at.
I already told him I love East Side.
I know East Side is like the best
I
neighborhood
went to
school
East
in the
Side.
world. Yeah. Okay, so then,
So, first of all, let me say I'm sorry because I would love to have had more time for us to have researched this, but I've just tried to do the best I can to get us steered to find out if we get the grant.
yes,
And if we don't, the other thing that you have to keep in mind is we will stay high on the list. But I think they're starting some more lists to potentially get it down the road if indeed we ever wanted to do that. The other side of that is, if we do something of this nature, we are hoping and praying that we can offer a lot more than what we currently offer to the preschool program. Meaning we would have some more class size, more classes and things like that.
go back
So-
towards preschool for all.
Right.
All right, then, I will entertain a motion and a second to approve application for the early childhood construction grant.
Motion.
Motion by Brad,
No second.
second by Jane. Roll call?
Robin,
Yes,
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
motion carries. All right,
And for those in the media, I'm sure you're gonna want some more stuff as we go. We are working with our architect on some site plans of what some of this would look like. I will tell you that we've already sent one of my administrators. I sent one of our administrators down to Muscuda. Muscuda has somewhat of a 4-pod built to where they go pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, all. And again, that's something that, you know, if this were to happen, I think we start talking about a phased project of some sort to potentially get all of our kids onto 3 campuses.
and
Whether it be in
hopefully part of
town,
the
it could be in
strategic
town.
planning will
Correct.
address that.
Yep. So thank you. We'll move forward.
All right then. Is there anything else from anyone?
Oh, you know what? I did have one more, sorry. I wanted to ask you if I could show a PowerPoint.
Oh,
and I didn't do it.
Yes, we have a really good PowerPoint to show.
Wanted to show, and I should have done this earlier. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. If you need help on that list, I'll give you.
We'll talk.
That air quality thing too.
Yes, we will. We'll check into that.
Check for
Love it. That's all right.
Yeah.
Be boring if it wasn't exciting, right? Why is it not showing up? Sorry, I tried to get out of there so that I could, maybe we won't show it. Display.
You show it from your mail?
Yeah. There we go. There we go. It's a quick one anyway, so. I just threw some stuff together. I know there's been a lot of conversation about that project, and as I stated earlier, there's some facts up there on the board. Bid price back in, when was that, spring? District cost of completion was a ballpark of $115,000. Todd spent 619 hours on that project. Gallons of paint was 301. Money saved approximately is $348,000. You know, and as much as we say hats off to Todd, and I agree, he's done an incredible job with it. It's hats off to you too, okay? You could have gone with the $453,000 bid and never thought about the process of saving you some money, and somebody was forward thinking with the process of going down that road. So I think that's incredible on the district part. And I wasn't here, so I can toot other people's horns. Here's a before and after picture. Put some pictures together of what it did look like and what it does look like. And I think I'll probably try to throw this out on Facebook or something next day or two with a lot of this information on it in front of the building. And of course, I think some of these pictures were even prior to the project, not just the painting. Because as I started going through these pictures that were given to me, I tried to match them up to old and new. I'm like, wait a minute, there was no steps in front of the building there. And I'm like, wait a minute, you did a project earlier too. There's the side and the back. And that side again. Side there. You know, and of course you look at the windows and all that stuff that you also put into the project. It's beautiful. And then I think that's, again, when I put this together, I felt, and it's not me, I wasn't here. So you as a group, it's a great example for the public to understand the responsibility that you as board members have taken. And this is another great example of where you met what, in my opinion, you're supposed to be doing as a board. Just like when you question the software program and some of those kind of things. That's your job. And I appreciate you doing that. As much as I'd rather you just say yes and we go on and save me, it makes sense to do those kind of things. So I appreciate that. You're fortunate, and now I am, because I'm here. But this is huge, and all of you are responsible for that, and I think the taxpayers as well, just because they pay a lot of our bills, and they pay a smaller bill this project because some people did a great job on that. So thought I'd take a minute to make sure we do that. And if you see Todd's been told by many people. In fact, he's also getting calls from people in the community wanting their buildings painted. And we're like,
No.
it's working for us.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, not only the money that Todd saved us, $350,000, but the quality of the work that he
It's unbelievable.
did
Yeah.
is as good as, you know,
It
that
really is.
400 that somehow we would have paid. It's,
A lot of people said, oh, you just use a spray gun.
No, he didn't.
You paint that with a brush and rollers
unbelievable.
all the way around the thing.
Unbelievable.
And the other thing you got to keep in mind too was he didn't put aside his responsibilities for the district.
Right.
He came down off of that boom many a times for issues that had to be dealt with and shipments to show up and things like that. So when you talk about it, 620 hours, that was in between.
Yeah.
You start at 4:30 in the morning some days, and just really impressive. Kudos to all of you.
Yeah.
I'll stop. Thanks.
All right. Then I'll entertain a motion and a second to enter into closed session for appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district, collective negotiating matters between the district and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees, or student discipline.
Motion.
Motion by Chad, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Desha, roll call?
Robin,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Motion carries. Now going into closed session. Thank you. We're gonna
Yeah,
stay
we're
here.
staying here. Yes.
You too, really. Take care.
Too small.
See you, Will.
Steve.
We used to.
We used to go there, and the crowd was down here. But then when we got to the COVID, nobody was here, so